Hello, this is Chris Hill with the Rising Tide webcast, where it is our responsibility to give you basics to move forward in your business. My guest speaker today is Paul Roberts. Thank you, Paul, for jumping on with us. And so we are covering warm market recruiting and driving depth. Other than Andy Albright, I cannot think of a better person in our business to teach on this subject. And I give you the basics of why it's important and how you do it. Not based off of what he's done in the past, but what he's done currently. And so he's driven depth, and we can see some of his hierarchies, how deep they are from the work he's done, but then he's also hiring a lot of width and driving depth at the same time. So if you're looking for someone to copy and an example to place on top of your business, Paul would be the one that I would recommend. So Paul, thank you for jumping on. If you can, give us high level why driving depth is important, hiring more market, why it's important, and what your mindset is, because I know you believe in it heavily and you practice it heavily.
Yeah, it definitely starts off with a belief level. When I started doing this, Chris, I actually texted Andy and said, I'm going to be great at this. And I just practiced and practiced and practiced till I became great at it. Why I believe in it? These are the people we're looking for. These are the ones that they're not looking for jobs. Their resumes not on Monster, Career Builder, Hot Jobs, ZipRecruiter, Facebook. It's they're not looking. If you go across my organization, very the very first organization that was from a friend. He was not looking for a job, and you want to talk about a powerhouse. And then the next organization, the exact same thing. That took 4 people down to get to that person. And again, not looking for a job. They don't have the common questions you get when you're recruiting with. They have more questions of how much money can I make? How rich can I get? They just ask so much better questions when you're working that warm market and working that depth, because they're not looking. And to think they can have an opportunity to quit their job, fire their job, or whatever it is, gets them all types of fired up and motivated. I'm looking for ambitious people, Chris, and I'm looking for people that already have jobs. People say to me, well, he's already got a good job. He probably won't want to do this. No, that's who I want. You don't understand. He's probably not happy in that job. That's exactly who we're looking for. I'm not looking for someone that's desperate and has to have it. And, oh my God, I need it so bad. And I mean, that's fine, but I'm looking for that person that's got this drive inside of them that you're not going to find out there on the market when you're looking for people in normal recruiting ads. The people that I have found have all had great jobs. If I name some of the companies that they came from, you would recognize these companies. Great jobs, great careers. But we just had something to offer them through the alliance, through our opportunity, that they just couldn't pass up. And because they're already ambitious, because they're already hard-nosed drivers, they came on board with that same attitude, same work ethic. And there's nothing more beautiful than that when you find someone like that says, "Hey, how big can we make this? How rich can I get?" As opposed to, the typical questions we get are, "What's your average salesperson make?" You don't get that from this group of people. And hardcore believer in it, absolutely. I think that's where you probably got to start. Is you got to make a decision of what Chris and I are about to teach you. That you got to make a decision. I believe in this. Here's a reason why people are successful. I'm gonna give you a hint. They believe in it before it works. They believe in it, and they hadn't even started doing it. I'm talking believe it, like it's going to happen. Success will happen. And if you take some of the stuff we're going to teach you and say, "Hey, I believe it," and then I'm going to go do it, it's going to work out for you. So that's the high level. I don't want to start naming names, Chris, of people in the organization that are killing it with us that we have found in depth, because I'll leave somebody out. Because if it were up to me, Chris, I would do nothing but recruit warm market in depth. But you got to have some width to get more depth. and to get those names. So that's the high level right there.
So I think it's very interesting that the people that most people avoid are the ones you're looking for, which
Yeah.
might explain why you're having such rapid success and growth, because they're skipping over the people that you're targeting, which is you built your business off of.
Yeah.
So that might be one clue right there. It might be worth the whole call. Is
Yeah.
look for those people. So we're going to jump in, and I'm going to be a new recruit. And I got hired. Tori called me, and I got hired directly with Paul and Tori, and then I'm working with them. And so Paul's going to talk to me as if I'm a new recruit, and how he generates the excitement to get a list, and whatever he is saying to them, he'll say to me. And then if we have time, we'll get into a role play, a call where you can hear what it's like when you call my person, and that way you see the whole side of it. So if you are someone that's hiring people, you need to listen to what Paul says, just like it's a combination on a lock, and just repeat it. It's working for Paul, it'll work for you. Use the words and repeat it. If you're a brand new person getting in and you have not started hiring your warm market, you need to pretend like Paul is your manager and he's talking directly to you, because this is how his team has seen success. You start naming the people. They've been successful partly because of what Paul's about to say to me. So you can pretend to be in his group for the next couple of minutes and do the same thing. So we'll just start, Paul. Going to role play. I'm fired up to be with Robert's Rockstars, right? I'm fired up to be in the Robert's Rockstar group.
And Chris, we're fired up to have you in the Roberts Rockstar group. Hey, here's what we're going to do, Chris, is this Tuesday I'm going to have you come in, and I'm going to build your business for you. I'm going to help you build a legacy for you and your family immediately. Before I do that, you're actually going to listen to me call, and I'm going to help someone else build their business. You're going to watch me build their business. You're going to watch me how I do it. And I will do the same for you. I will do the exact same for you. And this is what I'm doing, Chris, is I'm getting people that other people know. And what I'll do is I want your top 5 people, just right there, top 5 people. They got jobs, maybe got a mortgage, got a car, top 5, your best. And those are the ones I'm going to call. But again, before I do that, Chris, before I call your people, you're going to watch me call someone else's people. You're going to sit there and watch me do it, okay? And this is what I'm going to do, Chris. I'm going to call. Let's act like I'm going to call your people, Chris. What I'm going to say, I'm going to say, hey, Jim, Paul Roberts here. Chris gave me your name and number, said you might be interested in what we're doing. Wanted to know if you had 2 minutes to talk about business. Chris, just about everybody says yes, they got 2 minutes to talk about business. And I say, great. Jim, what we're doing here is we sit with customers that ask us to sit with them. And once we get them taken care of, on average, we make about $500 a pop. And just curious, Jim, if you can help us out with something like this, either full-time or part-time. I shut up, let them answer. Most of them say, sounds interesting. What is it? I purposely create an objection that I can overcome. Notice I didn't say insurance. I didn't say anything about it. I'm creating an objection that I can overcome very, very easily. And that leads me to my next question. So what Jim more than likely will say says, hey, yeah, sounds interesting, but what is it? Jim, I'm glad you asked. What are you doing for money right now? Boom. I'm back in control of the conversation. He tells me what he's doing for money. I edify whatever it is he's doing. I work at the post office. Man, I bet you're a hard worker. I bet you that's why Chris gave me your name and number. I bet that's why he gave me your name and number, because you're a hard worker. We're looking for hard workers just like Chris. We are so excited to have Chris on our team. Now, Chris, the reason I'm going to be better at this than you is I can edify you, Chris. You can't call your friends and edify yourself. You're going to sound very foolish. Hey, Jim, big Chris here, man. You know I'm good. You know I'm great. And these guys over at this organization I joined, they think I'm pretty good. So you can't do that, Chris. But I'm going to edify you. I'm going to talk good about you. I'm going to talk about how you're a hard worker and we're fired up about your passion. We love your childlike faith, right? So I'm going to be able to build you up to your friends and family, right? You can't do that. Another thing, Chris, is I can share the opportunity in about 50 seconds. I've timed myself several times. It takes about 50 seconds for me to say, Jim, Paul Roberts here. I got 2 minutes to speak about business. Great. What we do here is sit with customers that ask us to sit with them. Each time we get them taken care of, make about $500 a pop. Just curious if you can help us out with something like this, either full time or part time. Notice that took about 45, 50 seconds. This is how it's going to work for you, Chris. Hey, Jim, Chris, how you doing? How are the kids? How's your mom? How's your sister? Oh, did you hear about Billy? Oh, I heard. That's just so tragic. 45 minutes later, you're going to say this. Hey, Jim, the reason I'm calling. And that's when he's going to put up the big X. Oh, God, you're trying to sell me something. I knew there was a reason you were calling me. I knew it. I felt it coming. And you spent 45 minutes and then you say, the reason I'm calling. They put up their blockers. They won't put up their blockers with me. Here's why. I'm talking great about you. People follow people that talk great about other people. They listen to people that talk great about other people. They love people that love people, right? So they're not getting all defensive and, oh my gosh, he's trying to sell me something with me because I'm talking great about you. I'm talking how you're a hard worker. We love your childlike faith, whatever it is. I'm not going to lie about you. I'm going to find stuff. I'm going to have to get to know you. Here's another great thing about calling list and driving more market is it forces you to know your people. And I love that. It forces me to know Chris. I got to know Chris on some level before I call his people. So I'm killing like 5 birds with 1 stone. I'm building a massive relationship with Chris. We're getting tighter. We're getting closer. I'm finding out about his kids. I'm figuring out where he met his wife. I'm doing all the things we're supposed to do that are outlined in the green book. I'm doing it all by building at the exact same time. It's like Andy says, we're making money while we're making money while we're making money while we're making money. I'm making money this whole time. Let's say Jim says, no, I don't want to have any part of y'all. Please understand, I've made a lot of money because I'm building a great relationship with my man, Chris. I've said his name about 200 times on this phone call with his friend. I'm getting tighter and closer with Chris. We're developing a bond. We're developing people. A lot of times people ask me, Chris, out of character here, but they'll say, how do y'all have so much loyalty in your group? That's the reason. We build these bonds and we get to know each other on a deeper level other than just, hey, go sell life insurance and make me money. It's a much deeper rooted relationship because I'm forced to get to know who he is before I call his people. So Jim says, sounds good. What is it? I said, what are you doing for money? He says, okay. And then I say, hey, Jim, here's what it is. We have a very, very simple life insurance product. The customer asked for it. We have leads. And I just need you to call those leads. Chris is going to be great at this because he's very personable. If you're friendly like Chris, you're going to be all right with us. If you got this crazy spirit of gratitude like Chris, you're going to be all right with us. We're going to teach you life insurance if you got those 2 things going for you. Okay. Most of the time, they will start edifying Chris. Yeah, Chris does have that, or Chris does have this, or Chris does have it. Or even better, and this is why I love warm market, they start selling themselves to me. Oh, I'm friendly. Oh, I got that. I might not always say friendly or spirit of gratitude. I might say ambitious. I might say committed. I might say whatever words I'm using. They then start selling me. You tell me the last time you called a ZipRecruiter and they were selling themselves. It's hard, man. I can get them to sell themselves. Most people can't. But with warm market, you can get all of them to sell themselves. And so we go through that. And then from there, I invite them out to the office. I invite them on another phone call. If they say absolutely not, I say, hey, do me a favor, stay in touch with Chris over the next 90 days. We think we got us something special with him. And again, they'll interrupt me. Yeah, you do got something special with him. I'm glad he's teamed up with y'all, man. I'm so glad you said that. We feel pretty good about Chris and where we're headed. Yep, you got a good one. The majority of the time, they will call Chris. If I set it up perfectly, they will call Chris. And then I just instruct you, Chris, hey, do me a favor. When they call you, they're going to start peppering you with questions. Slow down. Don't start answering them. Just be real cool. try to get them on the next TWC, try to get them on the next activity call, try to get them to a sales meeting, try to get them to a Zoom call, try to get them to something. Send them a video. We have 2,000 of them out there. Okay, be careful not to answer all of their questions and direct them back to me. So again, I get to edify you. You can't edify yourself, and it's going to take me about 50 seconds to get the opportunity out, or it's going to take you 45 minutes. So you can see I can call through 20 names much faster. A common question I get, Chris, and I'm gonna go ahead and answer it. But you said you only wanted 5 names from him. Yeah, I'm not going to overwhelm him. I will get probably 50 names from him if we do this thing right. But I want to start with I want to build the trust. I want to build the relationship. I'm going to get me 5 names, and we're going to move from there. And each time I'm calling, his people, I'm edifying him. Him and I are getting tighter. And what I've learned from this, Chris, is when you go out to make your first sell, when you go out to do your first appointment, and as most new people are, they're met with failure. They're met with adversity. You now call me and say, man, I was horrible in that one, because we built a relationship. You can be real with me, man. We're real. We're buddies. We're partners. As opposed to someone I barely know, I give them leads. They call them. They're no good at it, and they don't call us back. As my daughter always says, they're ghosting us. They don't ghost me if I've called your list of names, because we've developed something pretty solid at this point. So that's how it works. Chris, what questions do you have from there?
So, well, first of all, I like how much you've built me up in this call. I feel really good about myself right now. And so I'll give you my list if we keep doing this. But anyways, so let's say they come back and they say, hey, I'm really not interested in that. I just want to sell. I don't
Sure.
want to do that. What do you typically say back to them?
Hey, on Tuesday, I'm gonna teach you how I've built this organization from the ground floor. Just dial in and listen. And what you're gonna dial in and listen to, Chris, is me calling list of names. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just gonna say, hey, we're gonna do some training on Tuesday at 3:00. It's a Zoom. You don't have to say nothing. You're just gonna be listening to me, and you just dial in and listen to me. I've yet to lose anybody. I've not lost one person from doing that. Not one person. There's been a couple that I've came close to losing, and I don't want to say names, but his name's John, and I remember he was sitting outside my office door, because he actually came to the office, Chris, because he said just that. I don't want to build. I don't want any part of that. I got to do good. Da, 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 da. And so literally he sat in my office angry like this, like 30 minutes. And by the time it was over, he was kind of leaning in, and part of the deal, he still was acting cocky and arrogant. And when he sees us, he's going to know who he is. And he left, Chris, no kidding. He left the office and was texting me names and numbers to call. It works. It works. It's if you do it right, it works. And when he was watching me so easily get people into Exam FX, when he was so easily seeing me how I was edifying the person that gave me the names, he was like, this is a no-brainer. This is ridiculous. So he just started giving me names. That's happened many times. There's another young lady on my team by the name of Kelly. And the way I got her is some guy came up to my office, Chris, and he was cocky and arrogant. He says, I will outsell. I've been working phones. I'm a phone man. I mean, he just kept telling me how he was a phone man. And he's sitting out in the office, and I asked Trina to watch over him and help him get going. Trina walked into my office. She goes, I'm about to kill him. And I said, why is that? And she said, because I can't get him to make a dial. He's shuffling papers. He's doing this. He's doing that. I said, just tell him to come on to my office. I'm calling lists. He can check it out. Remember, this guy told me I ain't building. I ain't doing nothing until I make some money. He sat in my office, listened to me do that, and he gave me Kelly's name. That was the only name he gave me. And I called her, and boom. So it works, Chris. I don't arm wrestle you, man. If you tell me you don't want to do something, like, cool, man. Hey, why not on Tuesday? Come watch me build.
So when they say they don't want to build, you just back off on the asking them for the 5 and just invite them to the training. And just
so I won't call it building at that point. In fact, when we send out a group text, we just say, hey, dial in today to watch board member Paul Roberts show you how to, with some training attached to it that doesn't say build or anything like that.
So big takeaways I see, like in the very beginning, you said, hey, come over, I'm going to help you build your business. I mean, that immediately appeals to me. Like, you are asking for me to come so that you can help. I thought it was a big deal. You asked for my top 5 with the straight out of the 8 Steps book, asking for the top people that you want. And then you said, I like this, said before you start calling in my people, I'm going to watch you. And so I wasn't your only person that you were trying to do this with. You already had things which I felt like as a new person, that took the pressure off of me. I'm going to get to see what you're doing first before I decide if I trust you, I guess. The phone script was amazing. It was short, simple. I like the reasons. So it's like before, I doubt you get many objections because you told me the reason why it would work before I could give the objection. I like that part. And I really like the part where you said you begin to build a relationship. And I thought this was huge. And I think this resembles really your whole organization, is even if they said no, you're building a great relationship which you can't put a price on. And I think that's why, because y'all serve people. And so I think that's why the loyalty's there. So extremely, extremely helpful. And anything left to add on it, on the building depth, driving depth, higher and warm market?
Yeah, I just want to add to what you said is notice I didn't ask Chris if he wants to build. I told him I was going to build for him. I'm going to go to work for you, Chris. I didn't start off the conversation with, hey, do you want to build an organization like me? There's a lot of money in it. I just assumed everything I've done, if you haven't noticed, has been complete assumption. All of it, 100%. And that's because I believe it's going to work. And so that's the big one, Chris, is just everything you're doing. I'm just saying, hey, come in. I'm going to help you build. And no kidding, I got chills when you said that. Literally, I got chills when you said that's how we're building relationships, because it is. That you cannot put a price tag on that. And the loyalty that we have, I could cry, man. We got a solid, strong foundation of people that are willing to go to battle to make the Alliance the greatest company in the world.
So you're either one or two people. You're a brand new person, and you need to listen to what Paul said today, and then find your Paul Roberts and say, hey, help me with my people, and give them your top 5 and get in there and let them start helping you with it. Or you're Paul and you're hiring people. You need to have this conversation. I would listen to this call multiple times. The wording he used was specific, and it's what worked. And so don't necessarily go around trying to change his words. Just use his cadence and his phrases, because if it worked for Paul, it'll definitely work for you. Thank you, Paul, for jumping on. Extremely helpful. We'll see y'all soon.
Thank you.